Alright, so welcome here to another video on the channel. As mentioned before, that we are looking to chat opportunities. Let's just fix this camera sort of properly. Yeah. We are looking to chat opportunities, and basically we want to inform and educate nurses that are from red listed countries. How can you apply? And hopefully I'm hoping that this video can give you value, especially because it's very stressful that if you are a qualified nurse, you meet all the requirements and you want to work in the UK, but you just don't seem to find a solution and you're not really sure how to go about it. And most agencies keep telling you, oh no, you're from a red listed country. What if I tell you that actually, yes, you can be from a red listed country and you can get a job interview soonest, given that you follow this following steps that I have outlined in this video. Please make sure that you watch until the end, because I do show you other alternatives that you can explore as well, that you can make use of, to find opportunities in the UK. Also, just like make sure that once you send your CV through, they don't reject it. But yeah, and also, like, if you're confused about something, how can you sort of like get through to me to ask questions on time and have all these answers, and just make sure that you sort it and you're confident walking into that interview, knowing that you'll be able to scoop that interview and get yourself a position. Relocating to the UK is quick. It can be like within, especially if you already started your NMC registration, it can be within like 2 months, sometimes even in a month, as long as you've done the rest. Because soon as you, okay, let me not say 1 month, let's say 2 months, because you still need the 3 to 4 weeks of applying for your visa in order to relocate. But yes, definitely you can do it. You can do it within 2 months, you can do it within 3 months, you can do it under 6 months, for as long as you follow the steps. All right, let's get into it. Let's jump right into it. So please do not mind, the camera might be here, but I'm looking here. This is just the screen, and you will be able to sort of like see what I'm doing on the screen as well. So with that being said, let's do this, okay? So basically, red listed country. So we as agencies cannot recruit from this specific countries for various reasons. One of them being that it's considered under resourced. So countries like Angola, Cameroon, Chad, Ethiopia, and even though they are saying it's under resourced, there are a lot of nurses that come from here, seeking opportunities through our organization, and we really want to help these nurses, but the hospitals that we are working with will tell us that no, we are unable to sort of like recruit these candidates, or like some care homes as well. Care homes are not supposed to restrict candidates, but some of them do, especially if you want to enter as a support worker. But there are ways to go about this, but as long as you're familiar with this list, so if you want to know, so it's called the Amber List, Code of Practice, red and amber list countries. So just so you know, if you're in one of those countries, so I'll probably recommend that you follow the alternative. So and there's few ways to go about it, and this is the one that we have sort of been experimenting, and it seems to be working. And some nurses actually panic when they get an interview, because they can't believe that they can actually get an interview while they're in a red listed country. But we make this very smooth, and I'm going to show you how. So let's go to I'm just gonna find one of the documents that I normally share with candidates. I usually send this out as a link, and some of you just do not read, because then I'll send it out. Once you send us a message, it's the auto response that you get, and usually in that message there's like links, but then most candidates just ignore it, and then they kind of like keep waiting for a response. But I literally put everything within that document. But I'm gonna run you through it as to like what it is, and all this. So when you are doing your UK application, first things first is that you need to start with your UK application. So sort of like start your NMC registration. NMC standing for Nursing and Midwifery Council of the UK. So this is the body that regulates and registered all the professionals in the country. So you need to be you need to be registered with this, guys, or at least you need to be in the process. That's the only way that most clients or like most hospitals are happy to interview, at least if you have started that process. So within this document, I've sort of like, I've included like a short video on how you can go about preparing your CV and all that. And then the next one is like your registration with NMC. And then I have included like, a link to a WhatsApp group with all the nurses. So usually when you click on this link, it will take you to the group, and then it will request you to request like for permission to enter the group. And sometimes I might ask you a few questions, sometimes I don't. Usually just if I will look for you on LinkedIn or whatever the case, if your number, I'll try and see if you're really a nurse, or like someone else from the team will review and just see if you're really a nurse. And then and then I think the other link that's on there is just like how you can contact us via WhatsApp, but that you can also find on our website. And then there's like the process of sort of like applying for NMC. I'll do a separate video on this, sort of like taking you through all the steps and what is what. But the link that I want to pay attention to is this here. And I've sort of like put it in blue, and I possibly should be changing this, but I haven't yet. And let's pop this in here. I'm just gonna do this, and then once you copy that link and you open it in, it's gonna take you to a Google Doc. If you're doing this on your mobile device, it might prompt you to open up or download a Google Doc. Just do continue, proceed, and you open up that. So when people are reviewing your CV, there's certain things that they look for. They will look for where you are working, what department you are working. So let's say, for instance, we are hiring theater nurses, and you are a theater nurse and you are based in Ghana, for instance, right? Now, because you're based in Ghana, it's a red listed country, you can't. So what do? What you do is you change the location of where you're working. This is just to enable you to get an interview. So once you get an interview and you're successful, you can then change back your details. But I'll discuss that later in the video, like sort of like what happens, because a lot of people panic. I'm not really in that country. What if they are trying to track me down and all this, which is just like, it's all in your head. Don't panic about it. The responsibility should just be as you are doing at your current hospital. The only thing that needs to change is your current residential address need to change right here. Your current residential address, please change that. Make sure that it's for a green listed country, like indicate that you are in a green listed country, and the hospital that you are going to choose for your current work. Usually I used to tell candidates to say they are volunteering, but I would say just indicate that you are working in that country. This is just to make sure that you get an interview. If you do not, you are not gonna get an interview. I can guarantee you this. Or you can, but it will just be very, very difficult for you. You can just, edit the rest. Make sure that it applies to who you are, because then this information that they might ask in the interview, information from the CV. So make sure that you are aware of the information that you are putting in here. Please do not just edit this. I mean, it's good to edit, but it needs to be you. Who are you? And the experience that you hold and so forth, right? And then is there any way I can move this, just because it's so like right in front of me? All right. And then with that, include all the cases. This is like a well detailed, in-depth CV, right? This is very, very in-depth. It's very well detailed. It gives you all the information that you need to know, and most candidates that adapt this usually go through to the interview stage. It's very less likely that if you adapt this efficiently, or you send it to us so that we do your CV. It just costs £10 for us to do your CV, to make sure that we cross all those T's and dot the I's, and make sure that it's with precision, that because we know what the clients are looking for, the hospitals are looking for. So we make sure that your CV is tailored to that capacity, to make sure that you are through to the interview stage. And unfortunately, we'll prepare you as best as we can for interviews, but we can't pass the interview for you. Yeah, but basically edit this. Once you edit this, you send it to us. Now you can send it to one of our emails, you can send it to our WhatsApp message, one of those. Okay, so now I know that some of you send your CVs through to us and we don't reply on time. I have to apologize, but it's just because the amount of candidates that we are in contact with can be so many that we're unable to keep up. But I'm gonna let you know this, okay? And I'm just letting you know this just because, you know, not everyone might have access to this information. So this is just like a quick way for you to get all your all your questions answered, to make sure that everything else is in order. And you know, if you have any one-to-one questions that you want to ask, you can get them asked. So you can book a one-to-one with one of our agents. It's only, so basically you can have your CV written, you can get all your questions answered. It's only gonna cost you £10. It's a one-to-one, right? So if you come onto our website and then you click premium service right here, premium services, then this page will pop up. Here you'll find all the services. So you choose CV writing services, and it's £10. If you choose recruiting, this is basically us doing the whole process for you, the whole process from beginning till, you know, the very first point that to make sure that you get an interview. Everything we do it for you, except the CBT. We can't write the CBT for you. You have to write your own CBT, but the rest of the stuff we'll do for you. We'll make sure that, you know, your CVs are submitted to at least 3 to 4 hospitals. We make sure that you know, all your pay, you are not gonna do any payments on your own. We deal with all the stuff. The only thing that you have to do is do your CBT and attend interviews. That's the only thing that you have to do. The rest of the stuff we sort that out for you. And in case if you have, like, you know, if you have questions around immigrations and so forth, we have immigration officers that we book consultations with. Usually it's an hour. You can ask any question that you have. If you have, like, let's say for instance you're trying to relocate with your family and so forth, you can click, you can, you know, you can basically sort of like book one of these one-on-ones. Now once you book, let's say for instance you're trying to do CV writing, right? Let's just continue, and then did I choose a service? CV writing. Okay, let me just choose it, CV writing for instance, and then you choose one of these, one of this. Let's say for instance you choose Crystal, just for example, and then you continue. You'll be prompted to say, are you bringing additional people? If no additional people, let's say for instance, are you booking on behalf of anyone else? If not, you say you say no, you know, just say you're not booking for anyone else, and then you look into the schedule, like, you know, you can choose whatever date, and these are all the slots that are available for you, and then you can always book them, and you know, or you can have all your questions answered and everything else, and then you can have your CV done for you, just to make sure that you go through. So this is one tip that I'll give you guys. But otherwise, if you do not want to use this, which you do not have to use, because at the end of the day you'll still get the service, it's just efficient. You know, everyone loves premium just because, you know, it's above average, and you can always get all the questions and all the questions answered, and, you know, have everything else pretty much in order. Because if you're struggling and you're doing it on your own, you become frustrated. But, you know, with this, literally £10, everything else sorted for you. Okay, or, you know, if you want everything else in the other services also on there, you can choose it. All right, now with that being said, we have also opened up this year, which I'm not gonna get into detail about, but this is just if you're looking at the UK or the US, there is this portion as well. If you're looking to relocate to the US or to the UK, this I'm gonna cover in a different video, but pretty much that's it. Have your CV edited, forward the CV to us. If you go into our website, there is like a WhatsApp function here. If you click on this, it should take you to the WhatsApp. You open, you send us a message, you drop us your CV, whatever the case may be. Hey, but yeah, I think just for the, you know, just for the best interest of this video, I'm gonna try and keep it short. I have a lot of things that I discuss on here on our group with all the nurses, so please just visit that and make sure that you understand how to relocate, or sort of like, you know, what to expect. I think, as I promised, I was gonna cover, you know, sort of like what do you do when you get to the interview stage. So let's say for instance you use this method that I've explained here, and you're not really sure about, you know, how you're gonna go about the interview. So when the interview stage arrives, you just go about your current address, where you are staying, you know, everything else pretty much. And even when you're applying for your visa, you apply from the country where you are at, because I have a lot of nurses I've worked with that I've applied for their visas from Zimbabwe. I can guarantee you it's Zimbabwe because I've worked with them. I have not yet tried other countries like Ghana and Botswana, Ghana and Nigeria, but I know there's few more nurses that are going through the process, which hopefully I should be in touch with, and sort of like to discuss how they went about it. But I know they are sort of like heading through to the final stage, or sort of like to the visa application, and I should be able to sort of like get feedback on them. But yeah, with that being said, I think I'm gonna conclude this. If you have any further questions, just as I said, pop us a message, or otherwise you can book one of the premium sessions. You don't have to book it, but it's just if you want your questions answered promptly and you want time with one of the recruiters, just to make sure that everything else is answered, sort of like correctly, and and that you understand what you're getting yourself into, and whoever, whatever additional question you might have. All right, thank you very much. I should see you in the next video.